If I could have, I've blocked myself out of the camera. How's everyone going for a Friday? Today is Friday again, the 4th of the 11th, and it's 7:20, nearly 27. Thank you for joining me. Look, I've got a lot of people who ask me how they can see this, and I'll tell you now, it should be on Facebook. And a podcast. No, I'm pretty much live on Facebook. So, look, I've got a beautiful lady backstage. Some of you know her, and some of you don't. So, today is not about getting a card reading or anything like that. It's about learning. So, learn different ways of people who have healing, mediums, psychic, and also palm readers. There's more to what you may imagine or you may think. All right. So, today's talk or a quick chat with uh, Chantel Miranda, which is me, or Chantel Mediumship, it actually educate you guys about our different kind of healers out there, people that do reading, intuitive reading. They can do it through teacups, coffee. Like we said before, now today I've got Joe. Joe. I'm really bad with surnames, darling, but I'll get it right. It's Joe Haynes. It's right there. Hayden. How stupid am I? Must be Friday. Now, she doesn't only do a palm reading, she's actually a specialist in what it takes to read palms. She talks about you know what? I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to leave it for now. And I'm going to get her to actually introduce herself and what she does. And the best thing that you can do by tuning in is joining us. Ask her anything you need to know. Ask her questions. And that's the way you will join us. I'll just put your questions up there. She will answer them for you. And it's really, really interesting, all the things that she knows. She's quite smart. She's been around, and people do know her in America, the UK, and a few other places. So I'll just bring her on. So, hello, Joe. Joe, where is she? Hello. There you are. Hi, Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Thank you, Chantel.
Thank you for joining us today. I know you were feeling a little bit nervous, but trust me, if I make mistakes, the why I even talk, this and that, it's a natural, normal, grounding, space where you can just speak and just be comfortable. Is that my phone? It is. Sorry about that.
All good.
Okay, so going back to you, Joe, please tell us a bit about you.
Okay, so I got into hand reading probably back in the 90s because I had a reader look at my hand. I wanted a psychic reading and I got a palm reading and I was feeling really, I want to know about my future. And the gentleman looked at my hand and he said, oh, you've got a really unfortunate heart line. And I said, what do you mean by that? And I interpreted it to mean your love line sucks. And which it did, and it still does. And it's been one of my biggest challenges. So I wanted to understand how he knew so much about me that was quite personal. And it was through getting hold of books, and I just started looking at people's hands, even at work and my family, and I was looking at their headlines and their heart lines. I was getting really frustrated because everybody else's lines were better than mine. I'm thinking, oh my God, you guys are so lucky. You've got a really clear headline and you've got a great heart line and no dots.
Hang on, what's a headline? Were you reading their heads? What? Can you explain
so
that
in
to
the
us?
hand, yes.
Oh,
so
right.
in the hand, we have a heart line, which runs from the outside, the percussion of the hand, across here. It's the top line in the hand. It's called the heart line. And then we have on the other side where the thumb is, we have another line that comes across. And it generally, as a rule, comes across here underneath the headline. Underneath the heart line, sorry. And then we have the lifeline that runs from the top of the thumb and it runs around the ball of the thumb down here. And that's the lifeline.
And he was reading that for you.
He was reading my lines. And I'm like, how does that line tell you about my personality or about my experiences? And so that started my search into reading books and then looking at people's hands, and I was amazed that when I would say things to people that they go, oh, that's me. And I think, oh, maybe there's something to this stuff. And then
Yeah.
around 2016, a lady called Jenna Griffiths from Earth Uni in Zurich came out to Australia and did a presentation on fingerprints. And I'm like, oh my God, of all of the books that I'd seen, I'd never known anybody that had looked at specifically the fingerprints. So I was like, oh my God, I've got to find out about this. So I went and
Mm.
did her course. And then 2017, we sold our house. I had a bit of money. I saw a course for doing a year-long intensive with my teacher, Kay Packard, in America, and paid $8,000 American and studied for a year studying hand analysis. And the actual
Wow,
book
that's
that
a
I
lot of
studied
money.
it is a lot of money. So it's not, this is,
Wow. Little
this
keys,
is,
little long.
I'll do it actually.
There we go. American Academy of Hands Analyze. Wow, Joe.
So we studied that for a year. I had to do over 200 hand readings, and then I was put through a really intensive exam at the end. It ended up my teacher gave me her brother's handprints. So she knew him intimately. And I didn't know. Thank God she didn't tell me before the exam. I
Yeah.
think I would have died. And from there, it fascinates me because I've got a really analytical mind.
Hmm.
I'm a real skeptic about a lot of
Yeah.
things. Not that I don't believe in the spiritual, because I do,
Oh,
100%. But I'm a big skeptic and I like to see evidence. And the thing about this system is it blows me away how I can look at a complete stranger, look at their fingerprints, put together the fingerprint pattern and identify what their school is. So there's 4 particular schools that you can be a part of. And each person sort of goes, oh, yeah, that's me, school of love, school of wisdom, school of peace, school of service. They all resonate with the schools. The thing is, the one that's the biggest challenge is generally the school that they're in.
what do you mean by schools? I'm confused.
So the fingerprints can be broken up into, because you have loops, you have
Mhm.
arches, you have tented arches, you have whorls, you have composite whorls. And so it's actually looking at the pattern of the fingerprint and that allocates you into what school
Oh, wow.
they're actually in. So I'm actually School of Service / School of Love, stupidly brought in 2 schools to get master in this lifetime. Because it's not like, even though I've been doing this now for, what is it, probably 2015, so 7 years now that I've been intensively working with this, I have still not mastered my challenges.
Wow. When
And
you
I
say, sorry, when did
you're
you,
like,
so you did give us a bit of a background that this is when it started interesting you, when you went for a psychic reading and the guy
mm,
ended up saying all these readings, but just by looking at your hand, right?
yes, just
And
reading the
that
lines.
that's prior to that, what were you doing? What was your,
Prior to that, I was running a childcare centre.
oh my God, see, we come from every sorts of backgrounds, right?
I used to be in law enforcement. I was actually a assistant criminal intelligence analyst with the Crime Misconduct Commission.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm very, very, very analytical. Hence why I call my business Hand Intelligence, because
Very
I
smart.
think the hand actually has, and it does have a direct connection to our intelligence, because at 5 3/4 months, our lines on our hands and our fingerprints start to form in our hand at the same time as the cerebral cortex is developing in the brain of the unborn fetus. So they are directly connected.
Connected. OMG, that is
Mhm.
amazing. So it's not just getting your hand and say, right, this is it, this is that. You go beyond that.
Yeah, so it's not some people will say to
Gosh.
me, "Oh, I had a reading 10 years ago and this woman predicted I was gonna have 3 kids and I was gonna get married twice," and I
Yeah.
go, "Yeah, no." I don't do that at all. I don't see that at all, but what I do see is your love style. I see your thinking style. I see your communication style. I can see trauma on the hand. I can see specific personality traits of the hand. and it's like I do a deep sea dive into what your
Yeah.
soul has come here to actually do. And
That's what
it's
I was going to ask you next.
mm,
Next, not nest.
mm.
Next. So, what happens when you do that kind of reading? What is the purpose, or what can you find for someone when they come to see you?
So
What are they
generally
looking for?
So generally, most of us, like I know when I go to a psychic read, when I got a reading from you a few years ago, and it was we're looking for clarity, we're looking for direction, we're looking for, we might have hit a brick wall, and it's like, God, what am I doing here? What's my purpose here?
Mm,
So for me, having come from law enforcement and aged care and real estate and childcare, and I was like, oh my God, what's my purpose? And of course, my hand is I'm here in the School of Service. I'm here to actually make an impact in the healing arts. And this is my form of healing arts, even though I'm a Reiki master as well. But I'm here to be a successful. And that's one thing that I've one of my challenges is because I have a little pinky. Communication is one of my biggest challenges. It's
mm,
I'm I've had a lot of fear about speaking up and speaking my truth, even though
mm.
people meet me today and they go, "Oh God, you can't shut her up about this topic." You're right, you can't.
Because it's your passion. You love it.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
But my challenge, my specific challenge I had to go through in this lifetime was paralyzing fear of rejection from the family, which was
Mm,
exactly what I'd gone through 2 years prior to finding this information out. The
mm,
beauty of this reading is that it gives you, so for me, when I found out that I'm here to make an impact in the healing arts, it was like, okay, let's get rid of this peripheral stuff that I'm involved in. So what I
mm,
call, being out in corporate world, I could never last longer than 4 years in a job. I'd
mm,
get bored because my
mm.
soul was going, what am I doing? I'm not having an impact on people here. I'm not making a difference.
Mm. And that is so important, making a difference when you wake up to know what you want in the
Mm,
spiritual side of things. There's no turning back. You can't go normal work. I can't go back to nursing. I can't go back and do normal things that I used to do unless it involves helping. With my diploma of counselling and welfare,
mm,
I work, and I might be going. It's a might be going back to work with people who are troubled, but more in the detention centres,
yeah,
over 25,
yeah.
18 to 25,
Mm,
mostly Indigenous and Islanders. I get along
mm,
much better with them for some reason, but we're all made differently.
yeah.
Um, Correct. And it's just incredible. Like, a lot of people say, and you're everyone that I've had here in my little podcast has said the same thing,
Mm,
how it affected the family, the
yes.
impact that the family would have, and get ready, because that's the other thing that I always ask: how did you come out of the closet?
That was because I used to do, and this is the thing, I used to do readings just for. I'm not good at surface dwelling conversations. I'm never been
Mm,
good at that. I really want to get to the nuts and bolts of people. I want to
mm,
know them, and so sometimes if I was at a party or I was out somewhere and I'm meeting new friends, and if I got somebody who was a little bit standoffish, a little bit,
mm,
like I couldn't get a like I want to know people. I want to know their stories, and so I
mm.
just say to them, "Oh, can I have a quick look at your hand?" And they put their hand up, and the next thing I'd have people lined up going, "Oh, can you do my hand? Can you do my hand?" And I just give them little tidbits about things that I thought might help them to understand themselves better. Because
So
one of the
that's interesting. So the purpose as well, there you go. If they're finding why they're not getting along, why they aren't doing anything, you can find that in the hand. It's
correct,
this way. Sorry, I was going the other
mm,
way. You can find that in the hand by just
correct,
knowing the personality, why the
mm,
past, and how they can move forward. You say,
yeah, yeah,
move
that's
forward.
right,
Oh, okay, forward. And they can then turn around and say, actually, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe that is why I wasn't getting along with my husband, my children,
hmm
whatever that could be. Is that how it
yeah.
works?
So you can have
Oh,
different
wow.
lifestyles. So heart especially is always an interesting one because so I have two different heart lines. On one hand, I'm the rationalist romantic in my private life, but on the outside, so whatever hand you write with is your social face. Whatever hand you
Right.
don't write with, that's the passive hand. That's your emotional face. And so sometimes the hands can be quite different. Sometimes they're
Right.
exactly the same, which means that what you see outside is exactly what you see at home, right? But for
Mm.
me, I'm a lot more soppier and a lot more romantic-y, love soft, calm energy at home. Outside, I can be a bit more out there and a bit more out on the edge, a bit
Mm.
more adventurous. But at home, I'm a bit boring, really.
Yeah, quiet.
Yeah, that's right. So when you identify the person's heart style, you can identify how they communicate. And then when
Mm.
you look at the partner's heart line, and sometimes you can see complete opposites with each other. One will be a real
Wow.
passionate and want to be out dancing and partying, and the other one's a
Mm.
hermit. And they're like, oh my God, what? And that's exactly what my husband and I
Mhm.
are. He's a passionate,
Right.
wants to be out enjoying, and I'm a hermit. I want to be at home watching romantic movies, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That's
you can
connecting with your emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can
Mm.
identify those things, and then also the thinking style. You can have people that are real chatterboxes, or people who are real adjudicators. Like they're like Macaulay Culkin, who asked 20 questions of Uncle Buck on that movie, Uncle Buck, where he's sitting there and he's being interrogated.
Mm,
They're
mm,
just constantly asking questions all the time
mm.
because they want to know
Yeah,
information. And
yeah,
it's not that they're being nasty, it's just that they're really curious, but they don't
yeah,
know how to tell the person that they're talking to, why they're asking the information. So some people can
yeah.
walk away going, "Oh my God, I feel like I've just gone through an interrogation
Yeah,
situation."
yeah, yes, Sticky Beak.
So and
Joe, with
mm,
your profession, with what you do, would
mm.
you ever consider working in, I don't know, back in crime and see things? I mean, can that work there?
When I was in crime, it was funny. I used to look at astrology when we were looking at
Mm,
criminals. And I remember one time we did a big haul of jewelry was taken, and the gentleman's jewelry that we took was of Asian background. And he said all of the gold pieces that he had were for his children. Well, I
mm,
identified what the year that the children were born in, and went, okay, we've got a dragon, we've got rabbit, we've got tiger, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we can take that. But all of the other jewelry was all different other things. And it was
mm.
involved in, he was taking jewelry and then selling drugs. So
All right,
we were actually able to use that information in restraining his goods. So,
right.
but of course, law enforcement looks at psychics as like we're crackpots.
We are. Mm.
Um,
But
but
then
I
they
would
call us over and over again. They,
exactly, and then
they do.
but I would sit there on a Friday night and we'd have drinkies after work, and I would say to the bosses, "Give me a look at your hand. I just want to have a quick look." And I'd
Let's
say
have a
things to
chat. Let
them,
me get your hand.
and I would say things to them, and they'd be like, "How do you know that?" And I go, "Oh." But for so long, I did it for like 25 years, and I never charged anybody because I was terrified about getting it wrong.
As we do when we begin. So I've
Exactly.
got a question here for you from Bridget. Okay, I
Yeah.
might see if she's still around.
hmm
I don't know if you can see it.
When you
When you
read
read
a
a hand, go on.
Yeah, when you read a hand and see something that is detrimental to the person's health, do you tell them? Yeah, I do actually. And the reason why, my husband, when I first met him, I noticed that he had a bubble on his heart line with a mercury line running through it. Now it's been proven that when you see that can mean there's an issue with the actual heart. So
Oh,
for him, I actually said, I think you need to go to the doctors. When was the last time you'd been? We'd only been together for 6 months. And so he trotted off to the doctors, got a blood test, and 2 nights later he had a heart attack and ended up in ICU with 2 stints. And his doctor rang him on the Monday and said, "Oh, I just want to let you know you need to come and see me because your cholesterol is at 7." And he said, "Sorry, doc,
wow.
too late. I had the heart attack on Saturday night." And I've
Sorry,
seen
dog. Shit.
I have actually
Wow.
I have seen that on a number of people where people have, I've said to them, there's a bit of a heart issue here. Does it run in your family? And I had one gentleman say, "Oh yeah, I had a quadruple bypass, 2 years
Yeah.
ago." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well," even for people who I can say to them, I can see the bubble and I'll go, is there heart issues in your family? And they might go, yeah, there is. And I'll go, have you had your heart checked recently? And some of them will say, no, don't need to. I said, so you've never had heart palpitations? And they go, oh, yeah, I get them, but I don't take much notice of them. I'm like, I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't
Yeah.
care if I'm wrong. If they go and the heart gets checked and everything's perfect, I
Yeah.
don't care. I
Right.
will give them the heads up. Because, and the same thing with liver. I can see liver issues in the hand. And I always pointed out there's a poisons line that is in old palmistry. They used to call it poisons. In this style, we call it an allergies line. So
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I always identify it. The thing is that the interesting thing about the hand is my eyes get drawn to a specific point in a person's hand. So I never start, I always do the fingerprints first, but then I go, okay, hand, talk to me. What do you want to tell me? And my hand, I will go boom, and it'll be drawn to a specific point, and that's where the reading starts.
Oh, wow. So it doesn't
Mm.
just do the every little line. There is a specific point you're drawn to, and from there, the
Yep.
reading, your journey starts. And
Yeah.
then from there, it opens up to whatever happens, or
So whatever, yeah. So I'll always go through the heart, the
yep.
head, and the lifeline, and any auxiliary lines. And like some people have that many lines on their hands that it would take 6 hours to actually go through and read all of it. And that's just way too much information for people.
6 hours
So
is a long time. But have you done that? Like, do people sit there and wait or
I have a client that comes back and sees me every year, and we
right?
go through and look at, because here's the fun thing, the lines change.
Yeah.
The lines actually change. The fingerprints never do, but the
Yeah.
lines on the hands do. And so recently I was looking at my stepson's hand, and we took his prints in 2017. The clearest handprints I have ever seen. They were just really unusual. And then we
His
took them
hands?
3 weeks. Yeah, they're just you could see all of the lines really clearly on the hand, and the actual derma print. You could see it very, very clearly. It was very
Wow.
defined. And then we did it the other day, and he has now got like 20 or 30 more lines in his hands.
So hands get wrinkle at any point, any time, and they mean different readings as you
That's
go.
Yeah, that's right.
Shit.
So
I'm
it's
gonna
never like I never get
wow.
bored. I never get bored.
No, I'm shocked. I just thought it was a hand reading. I thought when you went to get your hand, read, they'll tell you, because I remember someone did his hand. That meant you've got how many kids. This means how many times you're going to get married. Do you know what I mean? You pass
Yeah,
that. You
yeah.
are beyond that.
And
So
I find it when sorry, you're right.
no, go on. You find it.
I had a lady once say to me, how many children have I got? And this was probably about 6 years ago. And I looked at her hands, and there's 3 areas I go to, which is the little lines, vertical lines here underneath the Mercury. And then there can be a line that runs under the Mercury, the love lines. They call them over here the marriage lines. And if there's any lines jutting up from a marriage line, or circles around the thumb, right? And I looked at all 3 areas, and I'm saying, look, I'm sorry, but I can only see 3 children. And she looks at me and goes, I've had 8. And I went, okay. And she goes, but only 3 live with me. Well, there's the thing.
Wow, that's the 3. Wow, and
That's
that's just
right.
by reading the. Oh my
So
god.
it's what's in your hand currently.
Right.
So she wasn't responsible for the 8 children. 5 had already left the nest, right?
Yeah,
But she
yeah.
was currently looking
We're living
after
with
3.
3.
Hmm,
That's amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing. Hey, Joe, and can I ask you something else?
sure.
Where do you work from? Like, where I know you're located, and I know you, Joe, but
Mm.
where are you now? Like, if people wanted to see you and they wanted to get their hand read,
Mhm.
where are you located?
So I'm located at Springfield Lakes, so I work from
Mm.
home. But I do attend a lot of Donna Randall's Inspired Life events, fairs, and we've got one coming up at North Lakes Hotel this Sunday. So
Oh,
I
no.
travel around. Yeah, I travel
Yeah.
around and go to different spots, and but it's generally word of mouth. I'm not very good at promoting myself online, and I'm not a look at me kind of a person. Put me on stage and ask me to talk about hand readings, and you'll be struggling to get me off
Mhm.
once I start
That's your
talking.
passion. Yeah.
I know, I just love it. But
Yeah.
actually going out and chasing, I always believe that people will come in when they're ready to hear the information at the level
Yeah.
that I deliver it.
Well, give
Because
us a bit of an example. I know we've talked about it. Give us a
mm,
little bit more of an example. If someone's overseas, interstate, because I've got people that listen here from the United States, from
mhm.
Canada, UK. They are sleeping at this time, but they normally go on my YouTube channel, and then
Mhm,
some of them ask questions there, and we've already recorded it. But for them to hear, because I
mhm.
saw a little video that you did. Can you,
Yeah, on
and
hand.
I love what you did. Can you teach us today a little bit what you did on that video, and just show our viewers how it works?
So I always send a hand kit. So the hand kit just consists of, the ink sheet, and you get 4 sheets, so you can take 2 sets of handprints. The video shows how, and I send that overseas or interstate.
Mm.
Um, and then we take the handprint, so you use your ink sheet, and this is my handprint that I took a couple of weeks ago. Um, and once I've received the handprint, so they usually scan it back to me, or they can take a photograph and send it back. I like to see a photograph of the actual hands as well, because the color tells me information about the hand as well, and the spacing between the fingers. So
Oh
one of the
my
things
God!
one
Yeah.
one of my favorite things that I like to do is I get people to say, put your hands up. So can you put your hands up for me, Chantel? Put your hands up for me. Now, see how you've got a fairly reasonable gap between the little finger and the ring finger? So see how I've
Yes.
got quite a big gap on mine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But on this hand, there's not much gap at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. True. Oh my
So
God. Yeah.
socially, I can handle people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
But emotionally, if somebody tells me what to do at home, I'm like, what the? I hate being
Oh my
told
God.
what to
And
do.
mine are very separated.
Separate.
So
So you hate being told what to do by others, okay? But
big time.
here's the funny part. We're pretty good
Oh,
at telling others what to do.
yes.
That's the thing.
But that happens because I'm a mother of 4 and I had to tell him, get up, get dressed, have your breakfast. I hate being told what to do because of a
Mm,
trauma. My
mm,
father, I love him to bits, but
mm.
dad, you do this, you do that. My teachers at school. So it's a thing I have, but it doesn't mean I disrespect. But that is bloody awesome that you work. What else can you work out just by me
So
doing
you
that?
have also with your little finger, see how the little finger's low
Which
set
one are we
on
looking at?
mine?
That one?
Yep.
Yeah.
See how low set your little finger is?
Yeah.
So is mine. Okay. Now that means that even though, okay, if you had a father in your life, he wasn't able to teach you how to be respected by men and
Mm.
how to get men to listen to you. Because a father's job is actually to teach, because we fall in love with our fathers, okay?
Mm.
For females, our father is the first man we fall in love with. And
Mm.
their duty, their job is to teach their daughters how to be respected by men, how to be
Mm.
acknowledged by men. So when I see a low set little finger, what that tells me about the personality is that you were very challenged in your relationship with your father. Now,
Mm.
I've loved my father dearly, but the only advice my father could give me when it came to life was, hey, kid, if you got a doubt, chuck it out.
I love it.
I love it too, except I did that to 4 engagements. Oh, well, I've got a
Right.
doubt, so see ya.
There you
I'll
go.
just next.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't really the best, because really what I wanted was the man to be able to hear me and to listen to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But because dad didn't do that, so anybody that's got a really low set little finger,
Yeah.
for females, it's a father connection, and when it's males and you've got a low set little finger, then they are mother's joy. It's their job to make mum happy, not husband.
Wow. Wow,
Mm,
we should have known that. So before girls, if you are listening to this, make sure you
mm,
check the guy that you're going out first. If he's going to be
mm.
mummy's little boy, hey. Whatever mummy
Exactly.
says, he will
Yeah.
do. Whatever mummy says.
They have to. Well, it's kind of like they're there to make mum happy, right? That they see
Mm,
that as their job, and each time I've seen that in a male, I'll go, "Oh, your mum's happiness," and they'll go, "Yeah, I'm there. That I've always got to, do things for mum. I'm always supporting mum," and
yeah,
but actually, you're kind of her happiness as well. Like it's on you to make sure that she's feeling heard, and
yeah,
they feel that burden. They really do feel that
yeah.
burden. Mm.
What about the other fingers? Oh,
So,
keep.
okay, if we look at the first finger, the pointer finger. So this is called Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is all about power,
Yep.
authority, ambition, and leadership and influence. And what I
Right.
find with most women is this finger will be running away, and yours is running away from the thumb. See how there's a
Mm.
tilt on it and it's running this way? It's running
Hang on.
away
Which
from the
way do I
thumb.
do it?
So you look at it yourself and see how the fingernail's going that way. See
Oh
how it's running
yeah,
away?
yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
bit of a
yeah.
curve. So
Yes,
this
yes.
is if it's is it your left hand or your right
I'm
hand
doing
that
my
you're
right
showing?
hand.
Okay, so socially, you've given
Yeah.
away your power in the past.
Uh-huh. My ex. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. So
Ex-husband. Mm.
when we start to take our power back, that finger will straighten up.
Well, is it straight? Oh, hang
Uh,
on.
it's 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 getting there. Okay, if you take a
Yeah.
photo of your hands and then
Mm.
look at them 12 months time, you'll see that the finger will straighten up. Like my little fingers, I had a reading from a friend of mine, Patty Barton, who does hand analysis as well, and she was saying to me, I need to pull my little finger, the communication finger, right, to get it so that it is more empowered, so that I'm not
Wow. I get it.
afraid.
Communication. So you're not. Yeah. But do you remember? I'm going to tell everyone this. When I first started coming out being a medium, I was
Mm,
so afraid, and I was highly recommended to go and see Joy for Raking by Paul
mm,
Williamson. He's fantastic, and I did. Do you remember how nervous I was? And I even cried. I said, I don't know
mm,
why I'm so scared. I was scared that I was going to make a mistake. I was scared
mhm,
that I didn't know how to separate my own thoughts to what spirit was bringing. Remember all that? And he said
I
to
do.
me, are you then a medium? And then I
Mm,
said, yes. And then what are you afraid of? That was like this finger, don't tell me what to do.
mm,
that kind of went, but in a good way. That was a kick in the ass. Apart from
mm.
Martin and my grandmother, I just did it, and here I am now. Do you know what I mean? I'm just,
I'm
as you can
so
see,
I'm so
what?
proud that you stepped out of your fear, right, and went forward and decided to do that, because everything about your hand was screaming medium at me. Your
Yeah,
markers on your hands was just, and I was like, well, why aren't, like, to me, I'm like, well,
yeah.
why aren't you doing it?
I know.
And
I
you,
was scared, like you. Like you're scared of talking in front of people. I'm going to give you a little advice, sister. Screw it, do it.
mm,
You
mm,
will never know until you fall or you get
yeah,
up. I had a
that's
lot
right.
of people who doubted me, who this and that, and
Mm,
that just made me want to even do it for me more. Like,
mm,
do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
now I can't be happier. Like I work for PTV now; it's going live on telly, Foxtel in Aurora,
yeah,
and that starts this week. Right, next week coming.
fantastic.
I do a bit of radio. I work a lot with
Mm,
Indigenous. I'm traveling. I'm doing all these beautiful places because I am telling you now, my friend, trust
mm,
it. You need to get out
mm,
there and talk, because what you do, analysis, the hand analysis,
mm,
not everybody does it. And that is so powerful. And you
mm.
can't just keep doing the one. I know that, well, you said you were doing, what's it called? You do a lot of events? No, you go with,
Donna's inspired life, yeah.
right. Apart from her, where else do you go?
It's usually just word of mouth, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I don't go out spruiking
See,
or
to me, that sounds like you're in a little comfort zone.
yes. 100%. 100%.
You need to get out, matey. And I'm doing you
Mhm.
here psychically. You need
Mhm.
to get out and do what you're doing, because you can
Yeah.
do so much more, Joy, than just doing
Mm.
one event and word of mouth. I know you
Mm.
said I don't like to get out of here and advertise. I
Mm.
didn't do it. I've got someone that helps me with it, because I
Yeah.
honestly can't keep up anymore. And I have to let some people down,
Mm.
come do readings and this and that, because I burned. But in
Mm.
your case, what you do is magic. It's not, I shouldn't say magical, but it's fucking fantastic, mate. Analysing people, they can understand why then they're moody, why they can't get along with other people,
Mm.
because
Mm.
everything is connected to everything. How are people going to know about you if you're not out there? Apart from Donna Rondell,
Yeah.
do other events. Get yourself
Mm.
involved in other. Don't be afraid to go
Mm.
and mingle and dingle.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
not dingling, but you know what I mean. Connect me, networking.
Yeah.
Don't be
Yep.
afraid, because you don't belong to one. You belong to everyone. As
Mm.
healers, what you're doing, you need to get your name out there, sweetheart. I love what
Mm.
you do. I mean, you could even be working for crime here, helping the police. And, I can help you there too, because I'm doing a bit of that
Mm.
myself, other mediums, but not finger. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure they can send you hands. I'm sure they can
Mm.
send you things, because I'll tell you what, we get there are two groups that I'm involved with, that's got to do with finding bodies or missing
Mm.
people that I do. One of them is Reese White, which I totally love. He's my mentor. He's my teacher.
Mm.
And there's another one that I can't tell you what it is, because
Yeah.
it's very personal, and it's confidential.
Mm.
So what they do is we get together with other mediums,
Mm.
and they all have different, like one in the States, one in Perth, one here, one there, and we all see the same thing. All right. All you need to do is say, give me a hand, and then you can read like that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, your input does a lot and will do a lot for people.
I find
Believe me.
I'd love to do it for school leavers, because for school leavers, if you could identify what they've actually come here to do, and what they're like. I remember doing a reading on a gentleman who was in real estate, and I told him, I said, you're actually here as a healer, and your school is the school of love. And this guy was shut down to it completely. Like, no, you're not telling me how I'm going to become a millionaire. And so some people, which amazes me when I talk to them at psychic fairs and that, and I talk about what I do and what I can see in the hands, they'll go, I don't want to know. I'll be like, really? Why not? And they're like, because if you tell me what I'm meant to do, then I'm going to have to do it. And I don't want to know yet.
You're helping them. You're guiding them.
Yeah, but I kind of get it, because I know I ran from my destiny, what I was meant to do, for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was, but I didn't. Now that I do know, it's kind of like, well, that stuff's peripheral. Like, this isn't what I'm meant to be doing. Administration, doing that sort of stuff doesn't float my boat. I can do it. Like, the thing is, with this, I just get so excited for the person when we identify their strengths, what they've actually got as their strengths. And then
Well,
they
who
come out and
knows?
develop it.
Maybe down the road I might be able to, because like I said to you, I work with a lot of troubled teenagers.
That'd be awesome as well, just to be able to tell them about things that they may not even know about themselves, that they're naturally gifted at.
Yeah. So you need to look. I've got a friend. Well, I don't have friends. I've got a lot of acquaintance. She also does amazing. If you're not afraid to travel, she's in Sydney. She does. Oh, good. Rhonda Kelly. I love her. She does a lot of events as well. She does a few, not much here in Brisbane, but she does them in Melbourne, Perth. She travels all over, and I can get you connected with her, so you can one day have your little store and get to know other people, get to know other environment. And if you ever are interested, we'll talk about it later, because I do a lot of island. I'm doing a lot of events around the islands this next year. My first one is the Whit Sundays, and I get connected a lot with the Indigenous community.
I love the Indigenous community. They've got so much knowledge about our
spiritual. They know and that's the connection that we have. And I do a lot of mediumship for them, for the stolen generation. That I have they respect me a lot as well in Darwin. I'm hoping to go and do a Darwin show as well. I know that there's another medium that goes, but it's not about that. It's about people, what you do, you connect and things like that. And that would be amazing. We'll talk later.
That sounds great. I actually did a wedding over in Bali, and there were Russians there,
Oh,
and one of the
okay.
ladies was an interpreter, and I was looking at their hands and telling them different things about their hands, and I find it just it humbles me and it amazes me when you talk to people and see things in their hands and they're going like they're just nodding, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this body of work that Richard Unger developed, I'm ever so grateful that he spent the time looking at over 60,000 handprints and looking at developing this actual system, because I cannot prove it wrong. I've tried, but I can't prove it wrong. It just blows me away, the accuracy of the information that I can see about a person and their personality and what they've come here to do. It's really phenomenal work.
Really, yeah. So guys, just a quick little back talk about Jo. She does more than just it's not so much palm reading, it's analyzing your hand. She can actually see what your purpose is here for. So it's not so much your love line or well, it is, but your purpose. Then you've got your career. So she does see things that's got to do with your past and why your past has brought you back here. That's amazing. It really is. Now, if people wanted to make go on.
Every line on the hand, so there's a thing called gift markers. And the thing about gift markers, like you can have a Sears star. And a Sears star means you've got the ability to be able to read people really, really well. The problem is, on the downside, is we can't read ourselves.
Oh, tell me about it.
All right. So we need friends to be able to say to us, you mean you can't see that, Jo? And I'll go, that's why I'm talking to you, because I need you to give me your input, because I can't see my own stuff.
Yeah.
Like leaves for the trees. It's just, but every gift marker on your hand gives you a positive outcome and a negative outcome, whichever way you choose to do it. So your life purpose of being in service is that you're helping others, right? But on the negative, you're being used by others. School of Love, you're learning about how to learn unconditional love for yourself. But what you do on the negative, you shut yourself down and no one can read you.
That is true in some cases, because I can read you right now, baby. I don't mind.
No. Well, you can, but you're going to be sitting there with a box of tissues.
No, I'm only kidding. The other thing, what does this say? I think, Chantal, you really need to push Jo. Yeah, check this out. Go on.
Out of a comfort zone. I just love the energy. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bridget. That's lovely. I remember putting up a post the other day about honesty. Like, I just can't be. And here's the amazing thing. There are things that I can tell people about their hands that may not be all that favourable, because I have this one was a thing for me. I learnt a lot about myself when I learnt this course. I have a fingerprint that's called snake oil, right? In its positive, I'm a healer, but in its negative, I'm spinning shit, is basically what it means, right? So if I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, which is like doing healings, doing readings, this is me in my art of healing, right? But if I'm working in a job as law enforcement or doing, real estate or whatever, then I'm just doing the patter to get the money. That's snake oil, right?
Oh, right.
So,
snake oil.
when I first heard it, I was like, snake oil, that means I'm a bullshit artist. And my teacher
I thought snake oil was healing.
No, well, yeah, snake oil was like, oh, I've got the cure-all for everything. Buy this bottle and you've got, right? Yeah. So, but it's about like conning people. And that one of the biggest challenges, like if I felt I was doing or saying the wrong thing, that just mortified me. But it's only when I'm not, if I'm not using it in my positive sense, which is healing, if I'm using it in healing, I'm actually the healer, and which is what I've
Yeah.
come here to do. I'm here to be the healer, right?
Yeah.
So when you're out of that realm, then everything else is just, you're just doing this, right? You're just
Yeah.
talking. So it's kind of like I had to face a great fear of mine to be able to overcome that fear. And that's the thing. This can be a real deep sea dive into our actual personalities and the challenges that we face. The thing is, when you face whatever your fear is, and then you come out and you see the truth of who you truly are,
Mm.
you haven't got any fear anymore.
No, but as spirits living human experiences, we have to go through that to understand it, what it feels like.
100%.
Because we think we can't survive things, and we go, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then you end up on the other side and go, oh shit, did I just go through all that stress for nothing? But we have to go through it to understand it, because as healers, then your job is to heal others. First, we're taught to heal ourselves before we can heal anyone else. And with that also comes the fact that, what you're doing, Joe, what you're doing, you can't just stay in the one place. You've got to move around. You really need to help other people. And I think it's a beautiful gift.
Thank you. I know this is my dharma. I do know that, and I'm very blessed to have found it. Like at 60 years
So
of
if
age.
people wanted to see you, how can connect you? Like if they wanted to get on, like we were talking before, the hands read. How do we get to you?
You can get
Apart
onto
from
my website. I've got a website, www.handintelligenceaustralia.com.au. Or you can go into my Facebook. There's Hand Intelligence Australia there. And either through my email, Joe Hayden, she's JOHAYDEN62 @outlook.com. Or my phone number, 0402 728 052. And just flick me a quick message, and you can do face to face where you come to me at Springfield Lakes. I can do parties. The thing about parties is the readings go for over an hour, and if I find once I do 6 in a row, that's me burnt out usually. So
that's where you need to do your own little rules and respect yourself.
So yeah, happy to do that. Happy to travel if people can get 5. 5 is a good number for me. 5 in a day. Start at 9 and finish at 5. And have a bit of a break in between. I really, really enjoy it. Everybody gets a copy of their handprints, and I actually ask people to record the readings because when I actually get people sitting down and go, oh no, I'll remember it, I actually don't want to do the reading because that's dishonoring. It's dishonoring this work, but it's also then, our attention span has the ability to take in maybe 2 or 3 minutes worth of information. And I literally slam you in 25 minutes. If I do a mini reading at a fair, I give you so much information to walk away with.
And it's a lot of energy that you use for them to just remember 2 little things out of all the 20 minutes. Yeah. And I also like people recording when I do readings for their own purposes. Like later on, they can reflect on that and go, oh yeah, she did say that, or she did say this, blah blah blah. You go back to it. It's 100%. More or less for that. Yeah.
100%.
Because I don't know if you've had people that I know I've had, they said, hey, 2 weeks ago I went in, I was wearing the pink dress and my mum came through and do you remember what dress she said I had to buy for my formal? Rightio. Next question. But yeah, it gets like that. I prefer people just recording.
I get people saying to me, oh, you did my hands, 2 or 3 years ago and you said da, da, da. And I'll look at them and go, they're not my words. And they'll go, I've got you recorded. And I'll go, oh, okay, all right. Because I do believe that sometimes spirit does use my voice.
Yeah.
And I will say things. And I know when I've said something that's really profound because I'll go, that was pretty good. And then I'll go, that was you, was it? Oh, like it's my guys that are putting the words in my mouth.
Absolutely.
Because it's too profound for my. I'm pretty down down to earth,
down
very
to earth,
basic.
like
Yep.
in real when you're not doing any readings. Yeah.
Mm.
And that's amazing. That happens to me too. People come to me and they go, you said that I was going to be pregnant. And I would never tell anyone that they're going to be pregnant in March. Well, guess what? I'm pregnant. And I'm like, oh, lucky. Oh shit.
Did I say that?
Because with the reading, bam, bam, wham, or selling things or doing things, and then they say, oh, you said this, so I've recommended my friend, and I'm thinking, okay, no pressure here, because also people need to remember that every reading is different for every people. So one experience may be different to the others. However, with your case, you're not doing the same reading because you're doing personal, like legit, personal reading of their own skin, their own hand. What about, okay, so we said, because we're nearly at the end, so we said the middle finger.
So the pointer finger, so the middle finger, isn't it funny? This finger is all
apart from
about
doing that,
is responsibility. So it's about structure, responsibility, integrity, contemplation, wisdom, and soberness. So it's a real responsible finger. Jupiter, Saturn. Saturn's all about responsibility. And one of my biggest challenges was irresponsibility. And I can honestly attest to the fact that for a lot of the years, I was totally irresponsible and I never took personal responsibility for my own future or journey or outcome. I was just, like, oh, she'll be right. Things will be right. My mum used to say to me, money grows on trees with you. And I'd be like, yeah, but it always comes in when I need it. Totally irresponsible, right? So I own that. I absolutely own that. And that's the thing about the hand readings is it ticks off, okay, here's my issues. So what can I do about that now? Can I be more responsible? The ring finger is the Apollo finger, and that's all about creativity, expression, individuality, your taste. We always want approval, appreciation, and applause, and it can also mean about the spotlight. And so entertainers, people who are very creative, artistic, will have a taller Apollo finger than their Jupiter finger. So see how
that's my one. Mine's short.
There's your Apollo. So your Jupiter finger is actually quite short in comparison to your Apollo. So you've got more creative ability, okay?
Yeah.
So that means that you need to use your creativity outlet. You might enjoy doing painting, but the reason why you doing creativity, because you're a medium, when your mind is peaceful and you're doing an activity that takes you out of your mind, then spirit can come in and talk to you more when you're creating. Right?
Yeah. And that is 100% true. That's why I make candles. And I used to paint. I used to do paintings, and I used to give them to the nursing homes that look really sad. Because I used to make really bright ones, like Picasso, like an eye here, a nose there, whatever. But it was really nice, and they used to put them in the corridors. This is back in Melbourne, and I did a couple here when I moved to Brisbane. But because some nursing homes look like a jail, really sad. Yeah.
So your creativity is very strong for you. So if you suppress that, then you're not fully opening up to all of your senses. So I always say to people that are, that can be a bit left-brained, very analytical, if they've got a strong Apollo finger, then they need to do some sort of creative, and it can be cooking or out in the garden or something, but it's where you're
detaching from here to there to allow. Yeah, it makes sense. Well, we're going to have to let you go here. Thank you so much, Joe, for being part of my little chat, my little creative. I just made this up and it's working cute. It's really just putting people out there, what they do, where you can find them. Now, you said this weekend, where are you?
I'm at not Pine Rivers. Is it Pine Rivers Hotel? I'm pretty sure it's the Pine Rivers Hotel.
I don't know where that is.
I'm pretty sure no, it's not. North Lakes Hotel. It's North Lakes Hotel. On the
North Lakes A hotel.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess who's going to see you? Joe's been following us, Bridget.
Ah, excellent.
See you, Joe.
All right, Bridget.
I hope. Or unless you're saying bye. But either way, thank you, Bridget, today for being so,
yeah, I appreciate her
joining
questions.
us. Yeah, and all her questions. But now you can find her at the North Lakes at what time?
We start at 10 and we go till 4.
Till 4?
Mm-hmm.
North Lake Tavern, is that what you said?
No, North Lakes Hotel.
North Lakes Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's a hotel motel. They've got a functions room in the second floor, I think it is. It's a beautiful location.
And this is in Queensland, for those who are
Brisbane.
wondering where that is, because there is a North Lakes as well in Melbourne. So it's here in Queensland. Yeah, North Lakes. Or just email Jo and ask her, or you can also Google her or Facebook. You've got all her details there on her email address, and she'll give you everything that you need to know so you can make a booking with her and find out what your purpose is and get the word around. Jo's amazing. I have seen her myself. That's why I invited her to this little show so she can share her beautiful gift with all of you. Thank you, Jo, so much for your time and
thank you for having me.
Viewers. Now, later on, you'll have this, so if you want to see it again or share it, it'll be on YouTube on my channel, which is Chantel Mediumship, or you can also see this again through Facebook. Awesome. Thank you, Jo. Take care.
Thank you so much, Chantel.
I'll see you when I see you, I suppose. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jo.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, everybody. That was Jo, who, she doesn't just read your palm, she actually analyzes beyond that. So she will give you the purpose why you're here, why things are happening to you, and this will help you better off your life. So if you're making choices of job, career, or anything like that, how fantastic it is to know just by looking at your hand what courses you should do to help you to progress in life, what you shouldn't do, because it's not going to really be much for you. So, email Jo. Her email address is just there down the bottom. And for, I'm going to do one quick reading for whoever is on. I've got my cards here and I'm ready to shuffle around. If anyone wants a reading, quick ask me a question and we'll end up with that. So I am Chantel Miranda. I am a psychic medium. I'm 15th generation. I do also work for Psychic TV International, that you can also find me there on pin number 9103. We are actually going on live television at Foxtel in Aurora, brought to you by Aurora. So they are also having live audience. So if you would like to be part of the live event audience, that if you are in Sydney, you can just email them, or go to psychictvinternational.com.au and ask how you can be, go to the live studio. It's really, really fun, and we're very excited. Also, I've got exciting news. I'm going to go and start doing next year events around Australia, starting from our beautiful coast in the islands of Queensland. So my first one is going to be the Whitsunday. So Prospine, I can't even say it properly, Alley Beach, Prospine Entertainment Centre. So if you go on my website, it's just on the bottom, www.cmediumship.com. You'll be able to see when I will be doing my live events, and it's called Conversations with Spirit. So I'll be doing live connecting with those loved ones who are crossed over and somehow are connected to you, and I will give you evidence how they lived in the physical form, because I can smell, I can taste, and I can feel. Sometimes they give me names, sometimes they won't. It depends on what they want to give me. But once we make the connection, they don't just come here to show their beautiful faces. They actually come here to give you a message of love, and only you will understand that and connect with what Spirit is saying. And I also am a counselor, a spiritual counselor. So a lot of people are going through spiritual awakening. They don't understand how things work for them. They're finding it difficult to to understand what's happening, but there is a fine line between mental health and you know, all these spiritual things that are happening. But I do courses on that, and I will be also, with the events I'll be doing, I'll be teaching you a bit about what to look out for and some signs and how to help you with that as well. I will also talk to you and educate you the differences between a psychic and a medium, because a lot of people just want a quick reading and they go to a medium. You know, and the truth is that a medium is a natural psychic, but a medium is more if you want to be in contact with those who have crossed over and just want to know they are okay, they are with you, and you know, it's up to them. They will come, and you know, 99.9% of the clients I have, spirit have come through and give them the message that they just needed to hear there and then, and guidance. I like to call it guidance, not future. So that's part of the psychic bit on psychic medium. So a lot of guidance. Yeah, so look, we'll shuffle a card. So if anyone's interested in a reading, the main thing is I don't do health. I'm sorry, I'm not a practitioner, so I will not give you a health diagnosis, and I don't do legal. So if you're going through a case or a legal battle and you just want to know if the house is going to end up being yours, I don't get involved in that. Anything else, I'm happy to do a reading. So if there is anyone, I've only got a couple of minutes left. Any questions? I've got here, hi, would love a card. Okay, I'm going to give a card to everyone actually, because time's ticking, and I'm going to get, here we go. I'm going to change my cards. I'm going to go with these cards now. Oh, wrong way. I love these cards. Look how beautiful they are. So this is going to be a card for the week for you guys. And I'll also tell you quickly that next week I've got Janelle Ritchie. She is an amazing, amazing reader. I actually worked with her in the sense of development. We both learned together on how to work with our gift of being a medium. So I truly, truly love her. Okay, so the card that came out here, if you are looking for something to do business-wise, career-wise, even selling your house, married or anything like that, the card that came out in a year from now. Okay, in a year from now. So whatever you're thinking that you want to do and you're pushing it, you're rushing it, just take it easy and trust the universe to unfold it for you. When we rush things, when we want things so much, so badly, you actually block the energy for the universe to come through and unfold it for you. So trust your journey. So if you're thinking of changing work, if you're wanting to, you know, have a baby or anything that's coming along, then I'm telling you, this card has come through for you. A year from now, you will start seeing the changes that you're meant to be, you know, experiencing. So either a change of career, selling houses, anything that's got to do with new beginnings, it's going to happen from a year now. So if you've been planning, you've been organizing, start planning more. All right, guys, I hope to see you next Friday. I will talk to Janelle Riches, and you know, she's a psychic medium, but she also knows a lot about crystals. So if you're into crystals and the energy and how they work, tune in to next Friday at 7:27. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Good night.